Hi, welcome back to Natty Void Nation. We're continuing with the My Hero ranking characters. At this time, we're gonna rank. Last time we ranked to like all the pro heroes and family members. This time we're gonna rank the one for all users, and then also anyone that attended UA or anyone in school. But yeah, that's probably how much we're gonna do in this video. This is probably where we got most of the main characters involved. But with that being said, let's get started. So, Yurichi is, I like his story. I like him being the first one. I love how All For One gave him the power to actually beat him. Because he had the power to transfer his crack, and then All For One gave him a stockpiling crack, which is really interesting. I like his relationship with his brother, and then especially in the last season, I love him calling the second one for all user his hero. That's really good. He has a very strong story, but like because he's already dead, he's more of just a person who gives exposition to like Deku and stuff, which is fine. There's nothing wrong. Like he fits the role well, so he definitely be there. Would I put in? I don't think he's good enough to be A tier for me, but I think he's high B tier, probably above Rocklock. Now the second user, I was like, if a word for what happened in the final season, I think he's low B tier. But because of what happened in the final season, he was the first to sacrifice himself. I also like his crack. Also the fact that All For One hates this user the most because he's the one who took his brother away. For me, that puts him again double B tier for me. Now, this is the third user of One For All. I think I love his crack in One For All the best. Jin Fajin or something like that isn't it good? But like kinetic energy, he can like increase his own power. And see when Deku started using it, it's one of the coolest part of the crack in One For All. I do think the first and the second get a lot more screen time. He gets a lot less, but because his crack is really cool, I'll probably put him above Orca, but not above the Pussycats. Danger Sense is another cool crack. It's one of the ones that that Deku uses a lot. And also the one that got stolen, which was like scary. But like, I do love that this guy was actually the civilian. He didn't do any fighting. He was just training the crack, which is really cool. But again, I don't think he's as interesting as the others. I put him probably round about here in B tier. I do think he's still a B tier because of the law of One For All. So I do think he's a solid B tier. Black Whip, the fourth user. This is Deku's most used crack in my opinion. He uses this the most. We always see him we basically always see him using Black Whip. He was the last to be sacrificed. So for me, he's definitely above him. Probably above user 3 of One For All. But yeah, he also has a very strong personality. So yeah, I would give him a strong B tier. A Smokescreen. Again, I enjoy a lot of One For All users, especially how they interact with Deku. All of them having the distinct personality. He's probably my least favorite one for all user, but I do like his. I like his crack more than I like Danger Sense. However, I'll probably put him behind Danger Sense. Maybe also behind Crest, because Crest did save Eraserhead. I think this is the only one for all user that I think deserves 80, because I think she gets a lot of details, a lot of screen time because of Shigaraki and her being the grandma of Shigaraki. She also, her relationship with All Might, her relationship with Gran Torino is really interesting to explore. Also, like, her failures is what led to Shigaraki turning evil. I don't know. By the end of the series, he's still trying to save him and keeps him holding on so he doesn't disappear while All For One takes over Shigaraki. Um, yeah, I also think out of all the other One For All users, she's the only one, apart from All Might, that gets a character arc in the show. And that's really interesting to see. Um, I'll put her above Mount Lady Edwards, Edwards, because I do think she's a bit more interesting and she gets a bit more to do. I love the principal. He's fun. And also he's pretty smart. Even though we don't see him much in terms of battle, when we do see him, he's always doing something that is genius, like him thinking about what will come after the war ends. He's getting ready for that. Him knowing about All Might condition. The fact that I still don't understand that his crack isn't a mouse. His crack is like something to do with his IQ. It's crazy to me. So either this guy was already a mouse, and then his crack as a mouse, he got the crack pick IQ, or somehow his IQ crack gave him the ability to turn into a mouse, or he did the experiment and he got turned into a mouse. I still want to know how he looks like this. But, he's fun. Just because he's fun, I think he's probably roundabout here. But like, we don't get to see him in any like. There's no serious situation we see him. There's no serious situations that we see of him where he gets like, well, we have to worry or be like, oh, he might do something like sacrifice himself. We never really see that from the principal. Hound Dog, cool. He's barely in the show. All I remember from him is he apprehends gentle criminal. He's above all of these guys, but he's I think just eater for me. Nas from UA also. I like how Craig has a limitation of like it can only heal to the point of your own body, so it just speeds up your own regeneration. But yeah, I do like that she's her closeness with All Might. I do think she's fun. I also like how strict she is. I like you need to stop like how she does Deku off or keep breaking his arms. It's like eventually I will stop healing them. I enjoy her more than the principal, but yeah, it's because I think she also has more relevance because of her. She's more like of a friend to All Might than the principal is. Lance Russ, he looks cool, but realistically, he's just he barely in the show. I think I've seen him like once or twice in the show. Now we get to the teachers, and well, So this is the class 1B teacher, homeroom teacher. I think it's like Vlad the King or something like that. When he's on screen, his personality is fun. It is enjoyable. The problem I have is we barely get to see him, unlike Aizawa. Like, I understand Aizawa, like Eraserhead, because he's from Class 1A, we see him more. But considering he's from Class 1B, and he's the head of Class 1B, we don't see him in action enough. And so I do think that probably puts him C tier for me. Because, like, even Professor Mike at Midnight get more to do than him. Ectoplasm, again, another. I like his power. It's sort of like a Santa Clone Jutsu type of thing, but he creates it out of like mist. I remember him fighting against Floppy, I think, and when they were like doing teachers and you had to either escape or like put like handcuffs on them. But I think, yeah, he has a fun ability. I like what he did for Eri in the final war. I just, like with a lot of these teachers, I just wish we got to see more of them. I'm trying to think of other people. I think he's above Vlad, but I might put the bottom of B there for me. Power Loader, again a fan. I like his relationship with Mai. I also, he got some cool moments when he like fights Ida, again in the teacher thing. But yeah, other than that, I think he's probably just a low B for me. No, I love Midnight. I think Midnight personality really fun. She gets a lot of screen time. The only thing I would say about Midnight is her final moments, I think, should have been a lot better. Like, her death is basically off-screen, and then you get the students reacting to her death. I think seeing her die would have been way more emotional and tragic. That's literally the only thing I was disappointed with, was how she went out. But that shows how much I love that character, that I just wanted a proper ending for her. I also think she's loved by the fans. I also find her really funny as a character. I'll put her probably behind the seventh wielder of One for All. Pressure to make a sour Eraserhead. These two are, for me, Eraser. I think Pressure Make might be double A for me. I think if he got more fights, he might be S tier for me. I love Pressure Make's personality. I would only want to. I love like how like emotionally he is. I love his crack. I just wish we got more of him fighting seriously in like a one-on-one fight that we got for Eraserhead. Eraserhead for me though is S tier. He's above Night Eye at Cassidy, but yeah, I do like Hawks more than him, but like he definitely reminds me of Kakashi from this series. He's a very good teacher. I love how he fights. I love his crack. I love his like how he teaches, how he stands up for Bakugo when Bakugo personality is terrible. He trusts all his students. I really enjoy that. I also like when he first big fight in My Hero when the students were attacked. He fought like what? How many like bad guys all at once? Nearly 1 hour. Like he fought so many. I did so good. Yeah, Eraserhead is amazing, and honestly, I'm surprised he didn't die, because like he nearly died in the first war multiple times. Crest saved him. He had to chop off his own leg. He lost an eyeball. Eraserhead was put through the ringer. Like He got 9 lives or something. Um, what's this teacher name? Like Clydon or something like that? He's fun and enjoyable. I just wish we got to see more of him. I know he beat Sugarman at Sugar Rush at Red Riot. That was like his big moment. And then now he's the new teacher for the new class 1A. But yeah, for me, he's fun. But I'd probably just put him C tier. I do think him and Ectoplasm are the best designed looking teachers, the most unique. Snape. Snape is fun. He has some funny moments, but you don't get too much of him. I think he's probably the teacher that you get the least amount. But like, I do like that he's just the second best shot, with Lighting the God being the best. So now we'll go into class 3, and I love all the big 3. All the big 3 are really, really enjoyable. I will say Hado is probably the one that might be needed a bit more fleshing out, and not in terms of her personality. I think in terms of her fight, she's the one that always gets the short end of the stick. Like, a lot of her fights are either team ups or like off screen. But I do really enjoy her personality. I love how she's the idol of the school. She's definitely a strong B. I would put her on top above everyone in B tier. Sun Eater for me is an A tier. I love his personality with not his. I love his personality as well. Like how he's very timid and very like self-doubt, but then like his crack and his ability, like he eats something and he can gain that ability, is amazing. But what I really love is his relationship with Fat Gum. Honestly, I would put behind Marco. I just think Sun Eater also relationship with Miro is the best. Lemillion is so cool, and those two as good friends are I really enjoy the relationship. You also get like fights, like one-on-one fights in My Hero with him. Like in the overall arc, he's really cool. He also gets a massive moment against Shigaraki in the season 7. I mean, all the big 3 gets like a massive moments where they like help Lemillion try to beat Shigaraki. That's really fun. Lemillion, Esther. What's a mess? He's funny. I love his crack, but what cemented him in Esther compared to the other 2 is simply his final fight against Overall, where he loses his power and he's still fighting, and you get the sort of like him get taking a lot of damage and still living and like still trying to protect Eri. I love that. His relationship with Night Eye is really cool to see. I also love that like he loses his power and still keeps smiling, and eventually when he gets his power back, he immediately jumps back into danger. Lemillion, I think, is one of the. I really enjoyed this character. It might not be the best written character in My Hero. I think like Hawks and Devil all might probably beat him, but I think he's probably the most fun I had when he's on screen. I think this girl name is like Natsu or something like that. She's barely a bit, but I do see her like with Hado. Because I do see her with Hado a lot of the times, but yeah, she barely a bit. I think she's like the head of class 3B. So she's I forgot her name, but she's the second year. We only see her in one episode. I enjoyed her personality, but we don't really get enough with her, or she doesn't do enough in the story to put her any higher than Edith for me. Now we get to Class 1A, which I'm excited about. Most of these characters are just really well developed. Judge Boat, Danky, he is so, I like his relationship with Juro, I like his relationship with Red Riot, Bakugo. I also just enjoy him. He has such a fun personality, and I like it. I always find it funny every time he uses a power, he goes dopey. That's fun. For me, he's definitely 80. I'll probably put him above Pressure Mike. I don't think he's S tier, but he's definitely double A for me. You also get some cool fights or cool moments in the show. Like in the first war when he basically made this guy useless. Where is he? Where he made this guy he basically beat this guy because he used his power. Like, that's so cool. And he gets a lot of cool small moments throughout. And then like some of his speeches of like him being worried about Deku or him like cheering Juro are really cool to see. Red Riot is so manly. I enjoy a lot of his fight. I love that when Bakugo was captured, he was key in bringing him back. I enjoyed the fight in the tournament arc with Tatsu. I also just enjoy it, power. I think for me, he's top of I class. I also like how he gets a cut back on Gigantomaquia. Gigantomaquia, yeah, that's something like that. That's the villain name. Like he puts the sleeper gas in his mouth. That's really cool. Red Riot just as a personality is fun. I really, so yeah, he's definitely double 80. Tokiomi, I love his ability. I love how strong he is. I love this, like he has sort of Ragnarok is like a second personality at his own thing. He also looks cool. He got some cool fights as well, which I enjoy seeing. He definitely for me is behind a Charge Boat at Red Riot, but I do really enjoy him as a character. I enjoy how he fights. And also, I enjoy his relationship with Hawks. Like, I think that's an underrated relationship. His relationship with Hawks. But like, yeah, I really enjoy the relationship together. Juro, I love Juro. I think the reason is Quack is cool. Like she's basically a sensory type. But what I really love is like she has a strong personality. And also she gets, I think the second half for season 4, when Gentle Criminal is involved, that's basically her arc, when like she shows how talented she is as a musician, as a music person. So yeah, I really enjoy her. I hope these two are a pair, but who knows? But yeah, Juro for me person. I think because she has such a strong personality, it makes me enjoy her more as a character. I also like her standing up against All For One, even getting like a ear injured, is amazing. I think Saro is an underrated Class 1A member. Saro has like he won against like Braces when it's like a race, I think. I remember him beating like Ida. I remember like him trying to like help Deku with his Black Whip is cool as well to see. He gets some very cool moments and like some very fun moments. his moment against Shoto in the tournament is very, very funny. But like when he saves Shoto and Endeavor against All For One in the final fight, it's dope. Zero for me is very, very underrated. To me, he's definitely 80. I'll put him above Floats. In fact, I don't think I would put him above Lighting a Gun, but not above Sun Eater. But yeah, I do think Zero is a very underrated member of Class 1A. Mineta? I enjoy Mineta. I think he gets overhated because he's a perfect. But like, most animes have that perfect type. And Mineta at least is a teenager. And while he probably does it as an adult, I assume he does still, but that's not new to anime. You always have that character in any show, so that doesn't bother me at all. And sometimes I think it's funny, especially because he never succeeds in being a perfect. He always gets punished for the most part. While he's a coward, he does have some great strong moments, like him final speech against All For One, or even like him willing to like protect Tokiomi when All For One wanted his Tokiomi power. Like he gets strong moments. For me, he gets overhated, so I'm giving him a B tier. Pinky is amazing. I love Pinky. Pinky as personality and fun. I love her acid power. Honestly, I didn't even realize that the reason she's pink is because it's like a protection. If she uses too much acid, you can actually see her real skin. Her final fight against the first villain in My Hero, the Slasher Monster, was cool to see. Her helping Red Riot against Gigomakia or something like that was very, very cool to see. She is very fun as a character. I definitely put an 80 from me. So Shoji for me, no, that's not his name, Octopus, for me would have gone in B tier. He would have gone double B tier because he did some cool moments in the camp arc where they were at camp. But his final fight against Spinner pushes him into A tier for me. For me, he's above a 0. But yeah, his final fight against Spinner, I like his relationship with him being a Hammermorph, I think is good. Really important. I love seeing that in the show. And also, when the show ends, he's trying to fix the gap between normal Hammermorph cracks or cracks that like physically alter your body in such a big way. I really like seeing that. So yeah, he's A tier for me. Ochaku, Floppy, I can do together. I love them. I love the power. I love the personality. They get a lot of great fights. I love the relationship between the main characters and other members of Class 1A. Her fight, Ochaku's fight with Doka is really emotional. It's one of the few fights that brought me to tears because of like how like Ochaku's trying to save her. I also love how kind Ochaku is. If it weren't for Ochaku, Deku would not be in UA. Floppy, again, I love her ability. I love her fighting style. I will say, she still gets some screen time in the later season. She got a lot more screen time earlier on, and then she sort of got like left behind. Not in a big way, but just like compared to what I was used to. But she does like support Ochaku. I love her relationship with the rest of Class 1A. Honestly, I really enjoy when she's first introduced, her Mineta and Deku fighting against those monsters that evaded in the first season when they were like with 13 at Eraserhead. Yeah, that was really cool. But yeah, she's definitely. I would say I like Red Riot and Jazz Boat more than her, but yeah, she's up there for me. Deku, right from the Sky Baby, that like really made sense to like. I love that he's an intelligent MC. I think he definitely has one of the best story arcs in my hero. I love how like he had to work for his crack. Like yes, he gets injured, but eventually he works and like he changes his fighting style to use more legs and then eventually incorporates more arms. I really enjoy his journey. I really enjoyed how his journey ended. Deku for me one of the best. Would I say one of the best MCs? Definitely top 20 MCs for me, but yeah, I really enjoy him. He gets a lot of like he grows a lot as a character, not just in terms of development, but also sometimes backward development. Him going dark Deku, and not smiling is amazing. One of the best moments of Deku as a character, and then him having to like be free of that is really cool to see as well. Also about Dark Deku, Jaku's speech to make sure Deku was allowed to stay at UA was amazing. Kota was another character that I would have put like low B tier, but his final fight in season 7 pushes him into A tier. Probably, I won't be honest, I don't think it pushes him above Midnight, but definitely Kamiri Watts at Mount Lady. Like, also like him like evolving into this sort of creature and then him being able to control a lot more animals is really, really cool. I also enjoy that he's scared of bugs, but he can actually control bugs. Tayo Man, I would have loved to see more from. I enjoy his personality. I enjoy how he fights when we get to see it. I just don't think we get to see it enough. That's probably why he will just only be beaten for me. Sugar Rush is sort of the same. I love his personality. I love that he loves bacon. I wish we got to see more fights for him. I wish we got to see. When I mean fights, I don't mean like fight training fights. I mean like against serious opponents. But overall, I still enjoy him as a character. He's a solid beater for me. I think Bakugo not only the anime's favorite character, I think he's one of the mangaka's favorite character as well. I think for me, he's got one of the best story arcs in My Hero, one of the best written characters. I enjoy him more than Deku. Do I enjoy him more than Eraserhead? Probably not. But yeah, his fight against All For One is amazing. His fight against Deku is really cool. His relationship with All Might is fun to see how that develops. Him crying when he finds out Deku is crackless again is just like a very good character, like an anti-to a character arc. Like how much he used to bully Deku and now he's crying because Deku loses his power. Like Bakugo had one of the best developments throughout the entire show, but he also keeps his like weird personality. Invisible Girl for me would have been just B. I think she's still in B tier, but she high B tier for me, just because the last 2 seasons of her sort of developing a power or like her being visible, like seeing what she looks like is really cool. But also, she's just really funny. And then like she gets a really great moment in the final war against the flower monster villain. And I also like a relationship with I got stops sparkling or twinkling. Um, but like Iron Me was a character. Iron Me was a character I wasn't like the biggest fan of. He was okay. He probably would have been cheated, but like fighting out about the betrayal and then his redemption, he might act. I was gonna put him B tier, but I think he's low A tier for me. I think the betrayal story acts pushed him up to one of the most interesting characters in My Hero. Shoto. Shoto, as I said before, in like my previous video about ranking My Hero characters, Shoto for me, one best character story that My Hero has ever done. The Shoto family is one of the best things in My Hero. His relationship with Endeavor and how that develops, his relationship with Deku, how he becomes his own hero, is really, really good. I love his fight with Dabi at the end, is really interesting. He's a solid Esther character. Yeah, I would put him above Hawks, yeah. He also got some amazing fights in the fight with Stein, his fight with Deku, his fight with what's his name? Dabi. His fight with Dabi is really cool. Like both of his fight with Dabi. Ida for me is probably my favorite member of Class 1A. I love his story arc with Stain. I love him also like I think his best moment is saving Deku when Deku goes dark Deku. I will say I do probably enjoy Endeavor and All Might more, but I love Ida. I also love like Shoto and Ida are normally a parent and Deku and Bakugo are normally a parent. And it's a very good parent. Like Ida running Shoto all the way to his family to stop Dabi was amazing. I stand even recognizing Ida as a hero and like giving him the respect that he didn't give him previously. Yeah, I really do enjoy Ida. Especially Ida being the fast friend of Deku in Class 1A, with of course Ochaku. Momo, her ability is amazing, but also her personality of her gaining confidence was very nice to see. I think she's a really fun character. When she gets serious, she's really enjoyable. I'll probably put her behind Froppy for me. I enjoy her more than Jiro, but I don't enjoy her more than Froppy. The other thing is, I don't think we see Momo in a big fight. Like in the tournament arc, she gets beaten pretty easily. I don't think we see. And then she gets like beaten in the camp. Well, like who saves her? It was like Wilder, I think. Wilder, yeah, Wilder. I'll show you who saves her. This guy was like saved her in the camp. So yeah, but I wish we could. But I do like her power. I do like her personality. She's a very good vice captain in for Class 1A. So now we go to Class 1B. This is Rule. I love her crack. I just don't think we've seen enough of her for her to go higher than she did for me. I think she did, but but I don't think we got enough of her, enough fights from her, enough of her personality to push her higher, because she was only really in the Class 1A versus Class 1B arc. Vines. Vine is, I like her ability, like she uses her hair. I like how easily she beat Jazzbolt. Enjoyed her fight with Ida, but again, she sort of appears in like season 2 and then sort of drops off. She's definitely a buff rule for me, but I'll probably still put her in seated. Lizardy. I think her name is Lizardy, yeah. Her ability is so cool. Like she splits her body part. That's really cool. I just think because we only again see her really versus class 1A versus class 1B, I'll probably just put her in CT. If they got more to do in the final war, if they got more to do earlier on, I would put them higher. She is like Rico, like she has psychic powers. She's okay. I would probably put her D. Like I don't think you get enough of her to even really put her any higher. See, again, she's only in like the one arc with class 1A versus class 1B. I know she's probably a bit in the sports tournament arc, and she may be a bit in the camp arc, but the only time I really remember her was in class 1B versus class 1A. Pony, easy name to remember. Her personality was fun. I did enjoy it, but realistically, her crack I could kind of sucked. She just like shoots her horns. I guess she can regrow them again, but like yeah, her crack wasn't that cool. But she was funny when she was on screen, so I'll probably put her in C. Now this guy, Night Hyde, I think his name is, or superhero name, Night Hyde. This guy had the reason why I put him in Peter was not only does he look very unique. I do remember him controlling Ragnarok. I think that's Tokiyami's shadow person name. And using it to beat Tokiyami. That's so cool. I just wish we got to see him do more in other acts. So I'll put him here. Wilder, I do like how he just like, he basically builds things together. His fight with Bakugo was pretty cool. He helped out in the camp, but overall, he doesn't look as great, so I would just put him top of C. Maybe, actually, you know what? I think I'm being a bit too harsh. I'll probably put Vine and Wilder in low B. Now, Kanto for me is probably one of class 1B biggest characters. Her personality is really fun. I like her leadership. I love her relationship with Phantom Thief, always telling him off. I like her ability, which I think is just big hands, and she just uses it in fights. I think she like fights Momo. I remember her like punching like a steel shield and it like breaking. Kanto for me is definitely above a lot of these characters. Probably here. I think she gets the most to do, so that's why she's pretty high in class 1B. This guy, I barely remember. He's like got like fish scales and he's good at combat. I don't even barely remember his fight in in class 1B versus class 1A. So for me, he's D. Mangaka, firstly, he's very unique. I like his power onomatopoeia. I like that he enjoys anime and stuff or comics. I think the Bony girl also enjoys anime or comics. Just because of his uniqueness and stuff that pushes him ahead. And then I do think he gets a bit more to do compared to the others. And for me, a lot of the things he's done has stood out in my brain more than the other characters in Class 1B. So I'll put him probably above Rush. Spiral. I'll be honest, Spiral for me, Gaito, I get confused with Rota, but he basically, his ability is he can drill any part of his body and make it spin to like cause a lot of damage. For me, he's a C tier, because I don't remember him all too well for him to go any higher. Madman is probably like he's one of the ones in Class 1B that stands out. He was against Shoto and Ida. I remember him having some cool moments against them. I also think he helped. He's one of the few students that helped in the Fast War arc. I did stay in the back. Him and Judge both the Mushroom Girl in Class 1B. I think there was one other person in Class 1A that also was there to help. I think it was Tokiyami. But yeah, he's definitely a strong beater. I would put him above the principal. I will say he's behind Kanto, because I think Kanto's personality just stands out more. I think she's in more scenes. Beast. He looks unique, but other than that, his ability is just like a beast. He's fine as a character, but that's it. Now, when we're talking about ability, his ability is like he uses the air, and he can control the air. Just for his ability alone, he's C tier for me. His ability alone gets him to C tier. His personality, we don't get much of, so for me, he's in B tier. This guy looks like a Dragon Ball Z character. I'm trying to remember this guy's name. But like, his ability is when he like can touch an object and then spin another into it and it does extra damage or something like that. Just for his costume alone, I will give him C tier because it's a Dragon Ball Z reference, I'm assuming. However, I will say, even though I know in the Sports Festival, he's one of the guys that got controlled like Tailman, but like, did it give up? Not. Did it give up? Alright, this kid, Night Hyde is this guy. Who's this guy? Oh, he's Vanto Black or something like that. But he does fight Tsukiyomi. This guy, he looks unique, but apart from that, I barely remember him. He like sticky glue powers. I would say I do put him above all of these characters. But yeah, top of C tier. This is Jackamantis. Again, you don't get enough for me to really put him anywhere. I probably would just put him D tier. Well, he looks unique, which probably would put him in C tier for me. I'll probably put him behind 13 though. Now, the Mushroom Girl, I think her name is C-Mage. Her grog is amazing. And when she was on screen, I remember her personality being very groggy and fun. So for me personally, She's definitely B tier for me. Above Rain, above Rhoda. Honestly, I think because of how much fun I remember having with her, she's above these characters. Tatsu is amazing. Tatsu and Red Riot relationship is so good. I love that tournament arc. The fight in the tournament arc. He also gets a lot of multiple moments to show off, unlike a lot of Class 1B. I like him more than I like Kanto, but yeah, I put him here above Rocklock. Phantom Thief would have been someone who would have been like double B there because I loved him. I also loved his like he's basically a different version of Bakugo, but he's more snobby. But what he did against Shigaraki using eraser power was so cool. And like in the final war, he was like MVP in that fight that he has to go high for me. Probably behind Zero. I enjoy Mai. Mai is a fun character. I like the support items she gives Deku or like even other members of Class 1A. Honestly, she's very fun. Her personality is enjoyable. I'll put her above Madman. She was in the final war, but she's basically a character in class. I don't know if she's a teacher or somebody that supports May. We barely get to see her, but since she was helping in the war, I'll put her E there. Now this is Nighthide. His relationship with Eraserhead is so cool. It's one of the best things about this character. I also like. At first, he was an okay character, just a fight with Deku. That was like, oh, just somebody. But then the more we got to see him, the more he got development. And by the end of the day, him being a member of Class 1A is really enjoyable. I do like that development at him joining Class 1A. And that being like, he didn't get forgotten. That was a through line throughout. And he helped Pinky with the Sledge Monster. That was really cool to see. His Kura could do trick over one was also another great thing to see. I really enjoy how his story ended. And by the end of the show, he's clearly a very good member of Class 1A because in the future, when you get all the Class 1A shot, when they're adults, he's part of it with Ayumi. These guys are some other business students that the only purpose was to enjoy Jiro's music. Okay, so these two I'm gonna do together. But he's another like film student or stuff. Again, either never really much with these characters. But these two, when they were filming All Might are fighting, eventually it went from funny to begin with to oh okay it's getting a bit too much and then funny again. And for that alone, I think they get bottom of seated, both of them. I do them as a pair. Now we're going into other schools. For me, I'm just gonna do this teacher first. She was fun when she was on screen. I like her like a sort of back and forth with Eraserhead. But honestly, you don't get much of her. So for me, she's just a C character. Kami, I like her illusion power. I like her personality. I think it's very enjoyable. But I do think you don't get enough of her to go any higher than she did. She doesn't do anything big. Apart from like, I think she tries to put over one in like an illusion, but it doesn't work. this guy, Whirlwind or something, that's like his power. I love his relationship with Shoto and how it grows. He's a solid BD character that I probably would put above most of. Probably put here. I think out of all the people in the second half of season 3, he's the one that gets the most development. Him coming back in the final war to help Deku was really cool. He helps Endeavor, which is really fun to see because he hated Endeavor when we first met him. But that's really enjoyable to see the switch up and him grow as a character. See, this guy I barely remember, but he's a D tier. And the only reason I put this guy in C tier is because he gets a good fight with Judge Boat, and he does put Red Riot. He makes him into a blob. I remember that. And he gets a good fight with Bakugo and Judge Boat. So yeah, a solid C tier. He does a job. These two, I remember, they fight Muscle Man and he nearly dies. But I do remember certain fights like him versus Deku in the tournament. I remember certain things with these two characters popping here up, here again. His crack I think is vibration of some sort. I don't remember her crack, but I do remember them popping up now and again. To me, they're solid C tier characters. These two I don't remember at all, but I'm pretty sure they're in the same school as these two characters. But yeah, I just don't remember them at all. So that's why they're just gonna go F tier for me. But just because I know where they are, I'll put them in top of F tier. But yeah, the next part will do the remaining characters, civilians and villains. But yeah, this is now the final. This is how much I'm gonna do for part 2 of character rankings. All of UA students and teachers on here, plus other students from other classes. But yeah, tell me your favorite student or any characters you disagree with, if Red Riot should be S tier, or if I put too many characters in S tier. I tend to do that. But yeah, I enjoyed this. Hope to see you guys next time. Bye.